Today I'm showing you how to put the front end of a 2014 Audi Q5 into service position. First thing you have to do is remove the bumper cover. Bumper cover is pretty easy to get off this car. How I usually start is just removing these plastic grommets up here for this upper cover. These are not the correct ones. Normally they have a little push pin that has a smaller hole in the center, and that's the actual pin you push through. I just push it down until it clicks and then pull them out. These ones are the more of a generic, just standard little grommet thing. So pull up on the center of that and pull that out. But either way, then you just throw it somewhere. Sorry. But yeah, pull those out, and then you can pull this cover straight up out of here. It just kind of clips onto this front edge, so you can just pull it up. With that cover pulled off there, you're going to want to undo these screws. This one right here, down here, use a T25. This one right here as well, and then just pull these two off. If you pull this screw off here and this screw off here, you can just pull this little air snorkel right up out of there. It just kind of pushes in at the air box, so you can just yank that up and set it out of the way. With that out of the way, you want to get up here and undo this plug here. You just push in the little tab and then pull it away. And then you can either unplug this module, or you can just unclip it. You can just push in the tab right here. Let me see if I can. There. Push in the tab right here, and that releases it, and then you can just pull it straight out of there and kind of let it hang in front of the condenser. So pull that off, and then you're going to want to use that same T25 in the wheel wells and remove this screw here, this screw here, this screw here on each side. So just these three on each side. Hopefully it's not as dirty as this one. Those screws released, I like to just try to get my hand up high here as I possibly can and pull on it a little bit like that, and it should just release. Do that on both sides. Now from underneath, you want to pull the belly pan off first. This one has a lot of hardware missing and some strange fasteners. What you're going to normally see is a bunch of these off the front edge, these T25 Torx bits like that. Pretty much, I think, a little shorter version of the ones you see in the wheel well. So pull all the screws off the front edge, and then in the back, these quarter turn little Zeus fasteners with the Phillips. So just pull that off, and then you can drop the belly pan down. With the belly pan out of the way, normally you're gonna use that same bit with the T25 Torx, and you're gonna remove the screws that would be here, here, and here, and they're more silver in color. They're not black like the rest of them, and they have a little bit of a shoulder, so it's not the same screw used in the other places. So pull those off, and then this whole bumper is pretty much loose. So I'll show you how I get it off the car now. Just find something to set it on. I have this box here that will work good, and then kind of pull away from the car, back and forth on both edges. Set it on something. So a good way to do it would be to unplug the fog lights from the bottom first, but you can do it like this too, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to unplug these fog lights here and here. Like that, and then this whole front end's loose. So take the bumper, set it out of the way. Now, I'll show you what to do next. By service position, I mean I'm just trying to open up some room between the core support and the front of the engine. I'm doing timing chains on this, so what you have to do now is undo this screw here. It's a T30, this one. Undo this one here. And then this one, use it while you have the bit out. This T30 here, it's a coarse one, it just goes into plastic. This one here, and then I'll show you what to do next. You're going to want to pull this little coolant hose off the top, this little return hose from the radiator to the reservoir. So just pull it off on either end. This is usually easier to get to, right, the reservoir. So pull the clip up and then just kind of wiggle it. These are sometimes they can be pretty brittle, so just be careful with it. Pull that off, put the spring clip back down so it doesn't go flying off. And then now you can get to these bolts here. These large bolts hold the whole front core support and the real bumper onto the car. So use a 16mm socket to remove this one back here, and this one. What I do is undo one of them and then put a larger screw in its place. It's a 10mm bolt, so just find something that's has quite a bit of length. I don't know, something that's maybe 5 or 6 inches long. Screw that in where that bolt came out, and then you can use that as kind of a slide to pull the front end off. So I'll show you what I use, and yeah, I'll start doing that. I just pulled this screw out using this long one here, putting in where that came out. That way I can undo the other ones and this thing doesn't fall down. I'm going to lift it up after this and show you one more screw that I have to take off on each end. Actually, I'll just show you now. It's pretty easy to get to. This T30 right here. So go on both sides and undo this. That's the brace just goes to the front subframe, and then that'll allow you to once you have these bolts in and the other ones all removed, one on each side, then you can just slide this thing out, and I'll show you what that looks like. Of course, I'm missing one thing down here that kind of holds the headlight in. These screws on both sides, you just use a T30 and you just loosen them a couple turns. It slides in, it's slotted here, but the headlights will kind of be holding up the show, so you'll want to just take these and get them a little bit loose, and then the whole front end just kind of slides back. So you're just sliding on those bolts, you know, you just with those bolts in place, just like on the older Audis. You used to have to do this all the time when you were doing timing belts. But, you can just slide that back. Now you have a pretty decent amount of room up front here to work. Doing timing chains on this one, so it's gonna be pretty fun. It's not too bad of a job, honestly. But yeah, that's it. So if you need more room than that, obviously you can start pulling coolant hoses off, and you can discharge the AC and pull the power steering. I'm sorry, the trans cooler lines off the radiator and stuff like that. But this is enough room for this job, and I'm not gonna have a problem with it. So that's all. Just hope this video helps somebody. Thanks.